And, okay. And share. Okay, let me try one thing. Okay. Okay. I think I am finally ready. All right. So yeah, so this is going to be recorded. I have like my voice is going to be on there. My likeness should be like in the corner, like once it's recorded and everything. So once you all have a profile, um, the way Midstate does it, you have to actually create an account. Just like it's kind of like a private account, like your own personal account, like Andrew Palios or John Smith or something like that. And then that account actually manages the Facebook page of the organization. So that Facebook page of the organization will show up here. So what we use at Midstate is Midstate Grit, we call them. And then so that's the account that manages the Facebook page, the Midstate Technical College Facebook business page. You can have multiple people actually managing the Facebook page. So you each person will have to just have an account created. You know, it could be their personal one or what have you, and then they will just be able to access this. So every time you come, you know, log into Facebook right away, of course, you're going to see this wall here where you have all of the posts of your friends and things of that nature. There's going to be ads popping up, etc. So, but you will have your shortcuts here to the account for the business, no matter what profile you're using, as long as you're a manager. So once you click on that corner icon there, you're going to go to the main page, and you're going to see it as a administrator of the page. And we can go and under this more menu, you can see all of the different options that you can do for the page, in addition to what you have here out here as your kind of standard places to go. So from here, you know, I can see basically the latest posts, of course, here, and I can see how many individuals have liked this particular post here. And as an admin, you have this boost post option. So this is a button that comes up for only the business page, not necessarily your personal page at all. And we can talk about what a boost post is. That's basically essentially a paid ad, but that comes kind of later in what I have as far as like the lesson plan today. To getting messages from others, this is like the area you would get direct messages from people that may or may not be like following your organization. So there's likes and then follows. And so Midstate has 10,000 likes and then approximately 10,000 followers. So some people could like the Midstate Technical College page, but not follow it, meaning they don't see like the content on their walls. So, but if you follow the page, then you automatically will like it too. So you want more followers than you want people just liking your page. And the reason why a person would like it rather than follow it is they just want to have that connection to it, but then also, and then that kind of shows people in their profile that they like the organization, but not really necessarily want or care to see the content that's coming from the organization's page. So you want the followers. So typically you'll have more likes than followers on there. When it gets up to like 10,000 though, it's going to be, you have to drill down into the analytics to actually see like the specific numbers. So it'll just kind of give you a general here of what's going on. So to manage the page, you'll want to go up to this account button. Now we see Midstate Grit up there in the top right. This will be your profile, whoever's managing this. So you can click on that, and then under settings and privacy, you can go under settings and then hit OK. So let's see here. These are all, let me see here, absent. I'm gonna go back actually. Personal details, account center. I'm gonna go back. What I want to do is actually go to a different place. Does this look different to me?
Does this anything we have right now? It's just you now. Yes.
I mean,
Approximately. I have to get my phone out and check that.
All right, something must have changed because I can't find where it's going. Post. Okay. Oh, here we go. So they switched it up a little bit. Basically, up here, you'll find that like every probably 3 months or so, Facebook is going to switch up the interface. So yeah, and they don't. It just happens. So you can do this a couple different ways now. So you come over here, just in the corner, you'll go to the page. Now we have these icons here up top where it says home, friends, pages, marketplace, groups. There's also a little plus sign here to create the content. So under pages, you can get to this area here, which is the Meta Business Suite. And this is kind of the place that you want to be a lot of times. So once you go to this Business Suite area, now of course, this is kind of a little bit different looking too. So we're going to kind of learn together on this one. Settings here. So you get to the business suite, and to find the settings for the page, you'll be under here, way down at the bottom. Now we're gonna have to click this profile, and then page settings. Okay, so now from this area, let's kind of click down here and see what's going on. So these are all the settings for the mid-state page. Messaging, you can turn these on or off here. You can specify all these options. Who can see your posts? It's all public and everything else. Facebook page information. Now these are all like things that have not changed in Facebook. It's just a place to find them. So let's see. The one thing I wanted to go to is where to get reviewing, tagging, who can see posts, everyone. These are all those options, public posts. I want to find the place. Let me go back here. Linked accounts. Okay, so you can actually link your account as well on Instagram. So this is a good thing to do. This helps you, and I'll show you guys how to like pre-schedule posts and things like that. And then you can do that across for your Instagram account too. All in this one business suite area that I'm kind of moving around through. Now it created a new tab for me here, so I'm just gonna kind of click that out because I see my old tab there. So when you're in this business suite area, you have all of these, this kind of flyout menu, where you can see all of the different options. So under more tools, you can have all of you can access your settings here as well. Let me just see, because there's page settings and then there's settings. Let me see what the difference is here. That was where I was at, so maybe it was just the page settings then. Well, that's kind of where we were at before. Okay. So in order to do a post then, you will want to go under this part called content. And then so under content, there's published posts. You can see those. You can see the posts that are pre-scheduled. So Midstate has a bunch of pre-scheduled posts. The dates that they're scheduled is over here on the right-hand side. And then the ones that are going to schedule right first before everything else show up all the way in the bottom. The posts that are way further down in the future are going to be shown in the top. I think this is
You've changed. Can you switch?
let me see. Filter. I don't think so, actually. They don't have the option of doing that, unfortunately. It doesn't make much sense. But you know, this is just kind of, yeah, it's just kind of how they do it. So yeah. If something fails to publish here, and there might be a few reasons, you can see this little icon here. This is the Instagram icon, obviously, and then the Facebook icon. So if anything doesn't publish that is pre-scheduled, it's going to tell you it's failed to publish. As you hover over it, of course, you can see like some of the text. This is the text for the Instagram post that comes up. I can just go over here. Now this failed to publish yesterday at 6:16, and there's a couple reasons why these things might happen. And mostly it's because of just a glitch from Facebook. So typically what I do is the Facebook manager, I'll just kind of, well, the option isn't there. So I can just click it, I believe, and then publish now. So this was a live stream video. So sometimes when you do the live stream video things, there's issues. You know, Facebook isn't perfect. So, and then I can publish this now. Let's see if that works. You'll have to typically reload this page to see if it's still showing up as unpublished. It is. So let me try one more time. Publish now. This, yep, there's some issues with that video. Okay. Sometimes they have to, when they redesign the interface, it's going to have to kind of update a lot of things on their end. So I guess the video's having issues. Let's see if this one. Now, typically in the past, okay, this one posted. So in the past, they've gotten the kinks worked out in the regular posts between Facebook and Instagram to make them work. So looks like the video posted too. So of course under schedule, I always like check this area like at first just to see if everything went by as expected and as it should. So then you can just go back over to published again. If you think everything published just fine, like I think it did, then you can go over here and just make sure that yes, okay, this is published now. There's no like little flags or anything that have come up for it. So that's good. Now, to start doing posts, that's kind of the first thing I'll do. I'll go into the drafts folder. And I will hit this create button. Now this is where you can actually, let me see if I have any images I can use as a demo. I have some images I can use. Let me go ahead and grab some images. So here we go. This will work. Okay. Okay, so under the create post area, again, we went to drafts and then we clicked on the create post button at the upper right-hand corner. So here you can select which account you want to put this on, whether your Facebook or Instagram account that's linked to it. What I typically do is do these both separately. I schedule them separately because for Facebook posts, you don't need to put, well, you can put like very long, like essentially Facebook allows you to have links that are clickable inside of the post, so you can click and then go to like an external web page. For Instagram, you don't are not able to click on links inside, so you want to have those links be very like general, so be mstc.edu or mstc.edu / like register or something like that people can actually click later on or type in later on rather than click. If you have something that's really long, like something like this, you wanted a link like this, no one would be able to really remember or paste this into or type this into a URL browser. So again, you wanted to keep it very, very small as far as the links are concerned. But very simply, you could type in your post, add your photo. You can add video. I wonder if I have a sample video I can maybe do as well. Let me see here. Just want to see if I have something on my machine. But so you'll add a photo. Let's just say this one. Give it a moment to upload. All right. Kind of start typing in your message in the box. It's our deadline. So I'm going to kind of show like a little bit of how we'll sort of plan out like sort of a series of posts leading up to like a deadline. Um, uh, let's say this deadline to register is June 5th. Okay. So here's a Facebook post, register for June 5th. We would probably put in a bunch of details about the New York City trip. So let's see here, mobile education. Typically is like a social media manager. I'll come over here and some of my coworkers will have these the details of anything that we're promoting already on the website, and so I can grab content from here and then use it in my post, and then kind of review and see if it makes sense. Here's what to expect, right? Start just school class meetings, AT immersion, and once there, you take the streets and she also visit. Create a sense of urgency. Seats are limited. So create a sense of urgency. Seats are limited. You want people to feel like they have to take action right away in the moment. So that's kind of the strategy there from an advertising standpoint. Save as drafts. I'll always basically copy because again, Facebook isn't perfect. So there are times where it glitches out. And if you've typed a lot of stuff, you want to like make sure you don't lose it. So Control A will select everything in the box. Otherwise, you could just drag your cursor and highlight it, right? But Control C will copy all of this text, select all copy, or you can just hit this right click and then hit copy. So it's going to copy everything. Again, just in case something glitches out, and then just hit save. So this is going to save this post into your drafts folder. So this was our 3 weeks out message. So I'm going to do another one that's kind of a 2 weeks out message. So Mr. Dimlight coming up in 2 weeks. Register, here's what to expect. And then so I'll do like a little placeholder thing here. And then I'll go back. And then maybe I'll grab some more copy. So this is the testimonial. So testimonials are good for advertising too. And then you can kind of say, hear from out her experience. So testimonials are a great way to get people to get interested in what hearing from other people. Obviously, word of mouth is very much good a good way of getting people very interested to take action. So so then here's our 2 weeks out post. And then I'll save this as a draft. Now, actually, I'm going to go back and edit this post because I forgot to put the picture in there. So once now this looks a little bit different. So in the editing post area, it looks a little different. When you remember earlier, the add a picture button was here, the add a video button was here. They were all kind of lined up at the top. Well, now when you go back and edit the post that's pre-existing, you have to actually, you'll see that there are that it's in a different area. So it's down below here. So this box looks totally different. This whole area looks totally different. You're actually seeing the preview now automatically. You can use this drop-down menu to see what your mobile preview is going to look like here. And this looks different because in the other screen, and I'll point this out when we go back, is there was a picture of a mobile phone and a picture of a computer. So it didn't have this drop down with the words. So things look a little different, but the functionality is the same when you're editing in a pre-existing post. So you'll just hit add photo and then click your photo and then open. And then so once this is uploaded, you'll just then want to save that. Potentially my image is a little bit big, so I'm going to probably resize it just for the purposes of us going through the demos and things. Now I'm going to have to do that again because you can see here still in the thumbnail my image is not showing up. So sometimes you'll have to do these things where, of course, Facebook is glitchy just like everything, and you might have to do this, try this again a second time to get it to upload. It is very kind of time consuming for sure. Doing some of this stuff. We'll just save again. And trust me, this happens like every single day. So I know sometimes it works and the first time around, sometimes it doesn't. So this is just something that is sort of the nature of it. And then I'll do like a 2 days left. So 2 weeks out, 1 week out, 2 days left. So I kind of as we get closer to the deadline, increase the intensity of the messaging to create a more sense of an urgency. Bolding and things like that in the Facebook posts are not able to do. You're not able to do that. So how I draw attention or make the message loud is basically using all caps. Breaking up the information in little bits of paragraphs like this is very good too. Bringing everything together, like from a design standpoint, just makes things a little bit more intimidating to start reading. So if you can break it up like this, that's okay. Even if it's just 2 lines and then this gets hidden under the, see more button. Because of course, like as you're looking through a feed, you're not going to see all of someone's words. You're going to see like the first probably like 7 lines, maybe less. I think it's like closer to 3. There's always going to be that see more gray button at the end of the line of text. So once that's clicked, then you'll be able to see the whole full piece. So what's most important is these, first few lines here. Again, go back. And then probably the information here is gonna be most relevant because it's close to the deadline. And they're gonna want to hear about this stuff right away. Rather than kind of clicking to learn more since there's less time here. Things like this, I would break up to, or utilize kind of your, bulleted list. Uh-oh. See, we lost everything. There we go. Let's see.
Is there any kind of like unwritten or, like when you're typing in capitals, like in a text or something, people assume you're yelling?
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like written or unwritten rule on when to use that, or is this more like an attention?
It's more of an attention thing, yeah.
Okay.
That's really what it is. Yeah, that's how I will use it. So and breaking up information as much as you can is really important. Again, it's like if you want to treat something like a headline like this, then I'll always create these this capital headline style. Right, so we're right, white space is good, yeah, like not doing too much information. This is probably a lot of information here that I'm doing. Um, Not included, I don't wanna talk about that. Other personal costs, I don't wanna talk about that. Included in the program price, I want to talk about the positive and what's included. So picking and choosing what you want to give as far as information is good too. Um, because once they invest their time into pursuing what you want them to pursue as far as taking the action, then you can give them the bad news, right? Yeah, right. So, because once someone invests time into something, then it's harder for them to walk away. Rather, if they see it right up front, they're not gonna make the initial investment. So, um, just some salesy stuff. Okay. All right, so that'll be like our third post. 3 posts is good for a starting point if you're trying to get like registrations and things. You probably will have other tactics to drive registration to something as well, right? Like you'll probably have emails, like an email list you'll be sending to people. You'll probably have like face-to-face interactions or flyers you'll be able to hand out that also speak to the same. Yeah, so for what we do, we actually just have a very generalized. Where's my search box? Sorry, they just changed everything. More. Oh yeah, did they put it down here? Oh my gosh. Well, okay, I'm just gonna.
See, thinking you scroll through everything.
Yeah, really. It's kind of frustrating when they change it like so often, but it's kind of job security too. Oh, here we go. So there used to be a search bar right here. So if you want to search for posts, which happens a lot, use this 3 ellipses button here and you'll find the search box to search all the posts in your page. Hiring. So what we do at Midstate is we have just a bunch of general, we're hiring, join our team. They're branded with our colors and everything else, so everything matches. Um, And we have several different ones, but we'll use the same ones every once in a while too. I think there's more posts than that we've had in the past. I'm just trying to. Doesn't look like the search function is very good, but we have. Yeah, not good at all. Let's see. Filter, no filters. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty. They're still working on it, clearly. So yeah, it's mostly like a general. Now, if you have the time to do like get a picture of someone like maybe doing the job or like adding like a little call out that says like now hiring and then having someone doing the job or something like that. If you have the time to do something like that, I would imagine it's probably going to be a bit more engaging and better. But if you're strapped for time and you're working on a bunch of other content on the page, it's probably perfectly fine to just do the general, like we're hiring images. Maybe have like a an arsenal of like 5 or so that you can kind of rotate, swap out, so it's not looking the same all the time. That's kind of what we do. We do lump in multiple jobs into posting if they're all related. So if it's like a campus is hiring multiple, that's okay. Yeah. Oh, it's all like, yeah, sure. Yeah. So like we have like sometimes it splits up where we have like faculty and then staff. So we'll put like all the staff positions in one post sometimes. And we've been doing it now because we've been doing a lot more social media posts for Facebook posts specifically for jobs that are available. So instead of doing like 20 posts, we'll say, okay, well, I'm gonna break these out into buckets that make sense. So maybe it's by campus, maybe it's by faculty versus staff or things like that. So I'll come up with some kind of logical way to break it up so that when someone is viewing the post and there are someone who's interested in a staff position, they have like maybe a couple options that they might be qualified for that they can apply to multiple jobs in one post. Probably like 5-ish. Yeah, that would probably be max. Um, best times to post too, probably jobs. I would say early in the morning, like 7 a.m. So if you schedule something at like 7 for people that are up and just applying and things like of that nature. Or 7 o'clock in the evening where they're just mostly on their phones browsing around and stuff. And then there's more likely a chance for that message to get in front of their eyes. We are finding in Midstate that most people are there's doing their social media stuff at like 8 o'clock at night and stuff like that. So it's pretty dick.
Seeing that post, is there a way that you can go back to repost that post?
Oh,
Without having to create-
let's see.
I just think about like job postings, for example. If
Yeah.
Nothing is hired,
Right.
it's a lot easier to just repost that post than it is to redo it.
Yeah, so
But if it's already. if
Right,
it's a-
but you'd still potentially want to change it a little bit to grab attention again, because you'd want to change the picture, I would think. But for the we're hiring, because you want to re-engage people back into it.
yeah, if you have like like if you have an like I said for arsenal of like multiple, we're hiring like generalized pictures, you can just kind of grab it off of your server and re-upload like a different picture. If you wanted to, if you had like a post from the past that maybe you wanted to repost, you'd have to almost like rebuild it again. So you'd have to go over here, and it's not that hard really. Um, so, and sometimes I'll do this where I will open up the old post and then you'll have to open it up so this picture is like larger on screen, right? And then you can grab and drag the image down. So you have to do that. And then you'll have to close it out and then go ahead and do edit post. Now this is where I can just copy all this content And then back to, yeah, because I can't. Trying to see if that function was still there. So you'll want to copy that and then go back to where we were at. The business suite. So over here on the top right, you'll want to find business suite. And then create your post like you would normally under this content menu. Create and then kind of go from there. Paste. So all these now the problem with this too is, oh, since we're back here, I wanted to show you the different previews. So the mobile versus the, so instead of having actual words to show you, and they're just going to be these icons up here to show you, to toggle between what both types of posts look like. The problem with copying and pasting that is there were some things like Tomorrow River School District, those were mentioned in the post. So it would have to actually be redone here because the mention is not copying and pasting over. So I'd have to actually do the sign. We'll talk about the mentions, but as you are typing it, I'm sorry, Tomorrow River School District. So as you're typing, when you're mentioning something, and why you would mention something is to increase the exposure of your social media post across other accounts and their audiences who then might like your post, and then you can invite them. So it kind of becomes like a little bit of a sort of a networking outreach opportunity. So you'll kind of hit at the symbol, you'll start typing in the organization, and then all these recommendations are going to start cluttering up. And then you'll actually, before you're done, you'll want to just click it, and then it will create the mention for you. Kind of tighten up the text so it's kind of neater. And then you can just do a save as a draft like that. I forgot to put the image. So, and of course, typically you would just then upload, you'll add photo and then upload this, re-upload this image. It's going to have this kind of gibberish naming convention, which Facebook is going to put on there. But really, essentially, like the resolution of the image is going to be perfect for Facebook, and it's going to be just the same. And again, see what happens. Have to do that twice sometimes. Uploading photos. So again, it's the biggest part about social media, I think, is to probably not let it frustrate you and just kind of work through the process and learn the glitches as it goes along, because they will be there. So once you're so I'm going to delete this post because that's kind of in our drafts folder, just to show how to repost. It does take a little bit more extra rebuilding work. I'm going to go ahead and do schedule these out. So you don't have to reopen these when you want to schedule them out. You can just hover over here and then look at the copy that's previewing out. So this is our 3 weeks post. So I'll go ahead and do a schedule here. So we said our deadline was June 5th. So 3 weeks out would be today. And then so here's where I will schedule it. Schedule this for, actually, I'm gonna schedule this for tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do it PM. As I'm thinking about it, it's probably gonna need to be in the evening time schedule. Let me make a note of these posts here. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, you should.
Is there any better time, like you said, the 7 AM, 7 PM kind of thing? What about weekends?
Weekends for sure, yeah. Weekends you want to put quite a bit out there. We do a lot of like press releases at Midstate. And so we don't want to do anything that's newsworthy on a Friday at Midstate. Because it's kind of like a slower news day. Or on the weekend either. So more the fun, like lighthearted type stuff on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then more of like a newsworthy stuff during the week. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Mhm.
What's
Yeah. Right. Right.
That's,
I would go off of your page data. I would see how, when your page is being visited the most, and the times that it's being visited the most, because it's probably specific for each program.
and for county maybe.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
I don't know if you'll be able to see that,
Okay.
because it's all on one page,
Oh.
but you could look at the post and see when they were probably visited.
So yeah, I'm just kind of scheduling these out 2 days ahead here. That ends up being a Saturday. What I would probably do is do it on a Thursday, and then I would change the content. Sometimes you'll have to do something like that. So the 2 days left, I'm going to call it 3 days. Under scheduled. So if I wanted to edit the schedule, it works just the same. You just kind of got to find the icon here in the list. Go ahead and give it an edit. That's my 2 weeks. Let's not do that. Let's go up further. And then do your little change and then give it a save. So that's kind of the gist of all how to schedule things out. Here and everything. So that kind of covers all of these different options here. Expiring and expired, you can basically like events and things like that. If you have an event that's you created, and actually we should probably show you guys how to do those too. Then if the event is coming up and coming to a close, then it's going to be expired. So that's where those were going to be. Oh, well, let me do, are you guys interested? Do you guys host events and stuff here? Or have any kind of special gatherings that might,
That comes to mind is enrollment days, but that's per site in August.
You could still post them though.
We could.
so yeah, so we offer continuing education classes at Midstate. Let me see if they moved where my events are now. Nope, they kind of did. So at Midstate we have continuing education classes. Sometimes we'll have like like here's our simulation tour that we have. So like if you have a tour of a facility or like you said, enrollment, you can create an event on your page. It doesn't have to be like we do events for classes so people can register on that page. So it's not like a post that just shows up on the wall and then just kind of gets buried. It's somewhere where people can go and see it indefinitely, see like these things indefinitely and sort by date to kind of navigate through. So um, this is kind of essentially what it looks like. Find tickets can lead you to any kind of URL website you want. You can have that custom image. You have the location. What's nice about having a actual location on an event like this is someone can click on their phone and then it can open up their GPS on their phone so they can just kind of put it in their on their phone holder in their car and then just navigate right to it. You can actually click on whether you're interested in the event or not. So if you click you're interested, then Facebook is going to send a notification the event comes closer. So when you post this on Facebook and it comes up on someone's wall at the right place at the right time, they can click that they're interested right away, or in the future they can come and find it. So yeah, you'll get a notification up here, like, so on the side here, here's what we have for notifications, and I can go through them because I don't want to open this notifications tab just yet, because I want to show you like what each type of notification, what it looks like, because there's always like a tiny icon and it means a different thing. But I will go through that. Mm-hmm. Yes, yep, yeah, you can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So, all right, so I'm gonna go back to the beginning and kind of navigate back here again. So you'll go under events, and then let's see. Yeah, yeah. These are good. Well, we have a lot of yeah, so our continuing education classes, we have just dozens and dozens and dozens of them, and typically it'll take like a day or so to build out all the events for each individual class. And then each one is boosted. So when you do a boost post, this is going to allow us to select a group of individuals based on their interest or their age and so on, their geographic location to, yeah, it's like we'll boost each continuing ed class for $5 2 weeks out, and then another $5 1 week out from the event.
And you can filter that to the demographic that you're targeting.
Yeah. So
Just looking at it, it doesn't have a location.
yep, this one specifically doesn't have the location to it. So what you could do.
I will attend.
So this is a good opportunity. I'll show you guys how to edit this. So once you hit edit here, again, this looks different from like a regular post, but you can see the content area, the dates, you can set up the event name, the picture. You would just hit edit to re-upload a different picture. Under add location, here you can start typing in like a place. And then the location sometimes will pop up. Otherwise, you can actually do just copy and paste like the address and then put it in there, and then it'll still work with the GPS and everything. So that's an edit. Let's see. Okay. So if I go over to create new event, and this is going to start you out with the just basic template. You put your event name here. You can actually just hit edit to upload a new image. Let me do this image and see. Maybe I can make up a name that matches it. We can pick the date of the event, so we'll call it May 31st. We'll call this career fair. Now we can pick the time. I can sort of type the time in here, but you can also use this drop down to sort through. You can specify an end date and time, or you can just leave it at that where it starts, and if you're not sure when it ends, that's okay. We'll just leave that at 7. We can specify whether it's in person or virtual. Yeah, you can specify that, I'll use Mid-State as the location. I will go, oops, here we go. So I'll just use this as a kind of a dummy text here. So you can put your text, definitely want to have you see I'm using the all caps again. Okay, let's see, you can add co-hosts or other organizations. And now the thing about this is, again, it's gonna tie you to their page and expose you to their audience. However, when you do that, it's always going to show up as pending because the other organization has to accept, that you're the co-host of that. Add tickets basically is the URL where you want them to go. So when they click the purchase ticket button, or get tickets, it's called, they will have you go there. So you'll want to put that URL in there. And then essentially, that's pretty much about it. You'll hit create event. I'm going to have this create just temporarily. I'm going to delete this right away. So, yep, it's going to show up like this. And that's pretty much it. You'll want to just test out your links and things. This led to where it was supposed to. It's just not an existing page. Your see more button is going to show you everything else here. And of course, you don't have the co-host there done. You can create posts within the event. So if someone says they're interested and you want to kind of keep them top of mind, it's good to maybe add a post to the event so they can get a notification of maybe what's going on, like, oh, we've added a few extra employers or something to the event or things like that. So it's just kind of another like marketing opportunity.
To send you reminders in there, or would you recommend actually posting to your page? So like the job fair's coming up in
Yep.
3 days, would you put it in the event or on your page or both?
I would maybe do specific relevant event information in the discussion area. Because they're already interested. So they will get those notifications, are already interested. Those that you post on when you're saying things like register in 3 weeks or things like that, those are folks that probably typically have not registered yet or have not shown interest. You could do something like that. I wouldn't do that too many times though, because they're going to get reminded about it through the app too. So let me delete this event here. Now there's 2 ways of doing it. To delete an event, we do a lot of event cancellations when our continuing ed classes don't have enough registrants to come in. So we'll always go to cancel event, and then what you can do is say cancel event or delete event. If you cancel the event, you can say something to your audience like, this has been rescheduled, or we will be, stay tuned, another class offering will come, we just haven't had enough people, whatever. Deleting event will just make it so it never even existed. So those are kind of 2 small differences there. Let's see. I did go through a little bit of tagging posts, but I want to just maybe I'll show let me see here. If you want to post something right away, and you don't want to like pre-schedule it or anything like that, you can just hit this what's on your mind thing, and this will just post just like any other normal post would. So, well, actually, yeah, you can, it'll give you the notification to go to Business Suite if you want to schedule the post too. So, you know, I can either just post it here right away, or again, I can just go to the Business Suite. And, you know, the functionality is basically exactly the same. It just looks different again. So, there's, sure. So it's gonna add this send a message button here. So when someone sees your post, there's gonna be this button underneath your post. It just adds it, yeah. You can add photos too, which is nice. So this might be a good thing for registration as well. Let me go to that actually. So we've got a notification here. So these are my messages that I've gotten through the Facebook page. Now the user is going to see a different looking page. We're not going to have these options and things, and there's going to be a button here that says message. And it's going to utilize Facebook Messenger on their end. And then so they'll be able to do a back and forth chat with us. So right here, we've got a new one. And this looks like spam, which happens a lot. So this could just be, you know, checked off and then ignored, because this is spam. But we do get some legitimate questions and things like that. So here's an example. I'm considering the beginner knitting class offered, wondering could a minor attend? So I would say for Mid-State, we do have a big following. We do get a lot. I would say maybe at least 2 or 3 questions a week at least. Some weeks are busier than others, if we have a lot of continuing ed things going on, but this is where you'll be able to find those chats between people. Again, you can just sort of reply right away. Usually I connect people with other people, so if I can't answer the questions, like when would I have to enroll by to get into fall classes for diesel mechanic, if I can ask, or if I can't answer the questions, I will do that. If not, then I'll lead them to a subject matter expert on our end for that through the chat. Yeah. So I'll just like here. That's okay. So here, for example, I'll just say, please contact Jackie Esselman. And then so they'll be able to email that person and go from there. Trying to think of what other stuff.
What?
Oh,
Like that.
um,
Can you set your setting requirements before posting?
you can on, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it for like the business page itself. Because sort of the strategy behind it is that you want to like show people that you're open to their input, whether it be positive or negative. But there are things that you can do to hide negative comments if they're overtly negative. Now, if they're completely offensive, you just delete them. But it is a part of the management position where you have to actually like field those comments. Now, if you have a Facebook group, a group is different because it's more of an exclusive community. Like, let's say it's student life or people that are in the diesel and mechanical technician club or something like that. That's more of an exclusive group, and you can allow or deny comments like that. So we just manually like go through the comments and actually like manage them.
Is that just your notifications? Will it tell you every comment that's made?
Yes, so under this area here, Facebook comment, these are all of our messages completely combined here between all the different platforms. But if you go to Facebook comments specifically, you'll see that anything that was unreviewed has this bold text. If it has been reviewed already, it's non-bold. So we had a lot of comments during graduation. So again, like certain times it gets busier to manage these than others. So since we just had graduation, there's a lot of people commenting on our posts here where we reposted this from Skyward. They had tagged us, didn't add mention on a post from someone that's going to be a mid-state student coming up, or no, he is going to work for them now that he's graduated. And then so we reposted that to get some traction. You'll get these posts here like that. Now, since this is a sharing, so Midstate shared a post originally from Skyward. That's why it's in this kind of like little rounded box. We are then empowered because people are commenting on our reshare of an original post. So it's our post. It's just we're resharing. We're empowered to actually be able to manage the comments. Now, on Skyward's original post, Midstate, even though we were tagged in the post, we can't like manage the comment feed there. So if someone says, "Oh, I don't like Midstate" on Skyward's post, we would under the table have to go to Skyward and say, "Hey, we don't really like that comment. Would you mind taking it off?" And it's up to them if they want to or not, you know. But we couldn't go in there as admins and change their, you know, that's their comment feed. They can manage it. But we have a little more ability to do that since we reshared this. Now, let's just say Skyward had us tagged in their post and then there was a bunch of negative comments we didn't like. We could actually go to that post and untag ourselves. So then it doesn't look like it's it's an official sort of collaborative post like that. Um so as you go through your list of comments that you're managing, you're gonna see the comment here. It looks like this happens a lot. Someone called out another person in their friend group to bring attention. This is the actual person in the picture to say, "Hey, I see this, just an FYI." You can see the replies underneath. I can actually manage these replies. I can delete these replies or hide the comments as well, because again, it's under our comment feed. But you know, you do have to like kind of look at these and kind of use your best judgment as to whether or not it's something, you know, you want to keep or not. I would say for mid-state, if something is just blatantly offensive, those are just deleted. If it's something that could be controversial, we'll just hide them. So the original poster will see that, oh, my comment is still out there and mid-state didn't censor me. But it's really not. It's hidden from everyone else except for the original poster, which is a very nice thing to have too. Um, but you have to kind of catch them, you know. So no, it just goes away. Yeah. And if it's hidden too, they won't know. So yeah, typically we'll just go through and look through these. This is our graduation post. We have a lot of people that like this. So um, now what I usually do each time I come here to something that's commented, I will click on this button here, which shows how many likes and reactions you have. And so this is a big part of managing the page too, is actually inviting people. Yeah. So you have to kind of go through, invite all of these folks to build out your page. And there's a lot of uninvited people here. Um, and then so on. So you can see like this could probably take a while for just depending on how big some of your posts are. And different times of year, um, it gets busier than others. Once graduation is over for us, that's our slow time during the summer, the first few months of summer. But once it picks up for registration again, and we start doing events again, it gets busier. So that's kind of what I was talking about last time. Is if you guys can think about when your busy times are and when your slower times are. Yeah. Then you'll be able to, once we get to the creating the marketing plan, um, create a content calendar around, the things that you want to, that you are doing to build an audience, but then, um, um, promote the things that you want to promote too. Because again, if you're like doing this 2 weeks out from this registration, you want to know when that registration date is. Is there something very busy going on at that time where you get a lot of likes? Because maybe you can sneak in like oh, by the way, we have this thing to register for, like for our graduation, right? If we had graduation, we could sneak in a little sub ad within the content about, hey, if you know someone that wants to take summer classes or whatever, our registration date is coming up now. So yeah, like kind of figure out like what those markers are that you want to then build you know, your content around. So that is essentially, now you can sort to your Instagram comments too. I find Instagram is a lot easier and better to manage just off of your phone, because it is more of a mobile device, friendly or intended app. So typically for Instagram, I will like respond to comments and things like that. A lot of times I'll do like um, uh, a like to anything that they comment on. But most of the time I'll go into the phone and use those features. No, yeah. So whatever app the user is going to be tagging you in, that's where you have to kind of dig and find it. Yeah.
So the other question I have,
Hmm.
to add Instagram on my end, how do you link it? No one
Mhm.
ever sat there and kind of explained.
Yeah. Um.
We don't have,
Mhm.
that does, we do not.
That's what I'm saying. Who has access to the Instagram page?
Well, that was my one question too, is because it's already linked on Facebook, does it have to be linked on Instagram too?
Facebook is linking to Instagram. So what you
Right.
post on Facebook, you can post on Instagram.
Right.
They're not connected now, you said, right?
Correct,
Mm.
because we don't have them, we don't have an Instagram.
Even D doesn't,
Correct.
the cat does.
So I just want to create one for ECD.
So yeah, you'll create an Instagram account, and let me see if I can show you where to go.
Just start running it through Instagram. Like,
Mhm.
not like Facebook where you.
Actually, it is, I believe it's a business Instagram account. You can do a couple of things. Yeah, there's two things. I forget why you would want to choose the potentially might want to consider doing the personal account for your Instagram page, even though it is a business, because there's something about the fall. There's something about tagging that a business page is not able to do that a personal page is. So yeah, I think the personal Instagram account is the best option. We created like a business one, and it was just not, it's not the right it's not a good option because it has like limitations to it. Yeah, it has limitations to it, so I would go with the personal one if I were you. Um,
Is there a cost to this?
no, it just like limits you, and it kind of can hinder your follower growth too, because of that. So um I have not dug too much into Instagram very recently. But yeah, it's just our Facebook page is so busy. Like it's like the busiest one we have still yet. We don't have any TikTok accounts or anything like that. Who knows how long that's going to be around, but yeah, 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 right. Well, and yeah, and then also like, I don't, you're not really like, you can't sell too much to them. You just have to make them. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a video.
She's got the youngest kids.
So let's see. Yeah, and is that child labor? Is that child labor?
Get him, make sure you sign a media release.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. So all tools. I don't know why it's kind of lagging. Page settings. Here we go. Page settings. So linked accounts. Yep, there you go. You have access to the page and your details. Yeah, so once you get up here, I guess WhatsApp, we don't have WhatsApp at all. So this is where you'd be able to, since we have something already linked, is set here. Facebook page settings though, I want to see what this is. Oh, here we go. So from this page here, this linked accounts, if you hit this Facebook page settings button, let's see. Okay, oops. This is where you can add your different people to manage your page. So we have a couple people, Midstate Grid, and then a couple of different people. This is a third party provider we have managing the page as well.
What would
Um,
we post? Say who it's posted from, so does it come from them or does it come from the mistake?
It comes from the Midstate page, but they log in. So like Bobby, she logs in through her own personal account. But then when she actually is logged, yeah, she would. So she logs into her personal account. And, oh, I have maybe way too many windows open because that's why it's going so slow. When she logs into her personal account, um, leave. She's gonna see this. She's gonna see her wall of all her friends and things, but then she's gonna see this shortcut here. And then so once she hits that, then she's like now she's operating as a mid-state person. You can also tell too, um, by well, let me see. Yeah, by the picture as well. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, you can switch. Oh yeah, that's new. That's kind of new. Okay. Yeah, so and now I'm wondering why this is still, let me just reload this. I think I got my notifications done too. Just make sure. Boy, this is really, nope. So under this notifications tab, like these are going to be your latest notifications that you've not seen since last time you dropped this menu down. So this green bubble, of course, this is a comment. You have other information too. So the Midstate Student Life Group, this is a group that another individual at Midstate manages. He's a student life um, ambassador. So what he does is basically hangs out with the students, takes a lot of pictures and things like that, that really I can't do because I can't be with the students all the time because I'm always in the office and things. So he does a lot of fun stuff and then posts pictures to the student life group, which is tied to the Midstate page. It's just like a sort of like a satellite page, if you will. I can show you um, that a little bit. This will also show you a lot of likes. We do get moderation alerts. So if something is happening, someone is posting something on the Student Life group, we get notified as the main Facebook page. So the main Facebook page, this Midstate Facebook page is like the umbrella, and then the underneath the umbrella is then the Student Life page, and then we also have uh, single a single parent page that we've just created. Yeah, you. Mm. So you and for the groups, when your main page has a lot of people, and you create a group, you could use that main page to advertise the group. You could say, hey, have you heard about this group we have? You know, you can join here and things like that. But when you create a group, you start with 0 followers. So it's kind of starting from scratch, you know, in that regard. But if you keep at it, it's gonna grow pretty fast. But so long story short about this is, you know, you're gonna see all these little blue icons of the unchecked things that have just recently come up. Let me jump to
So when you start, can you invite people or you just wait for them to find you?
you'd have to almost like market it. You almost have to start like from scratch with like a marketing campaign to actually grow the group.
Like regular listeners.
Yes, yeah, basically. They have to be they have to be your friends though. Yeah, so like as
What? ECB, or we would have a following already, I mean, we have an ECB page.
yeah, so like the followers on your business page, you will not be able to invite to the group. The group, the people you can invite to the group are going to be like your personal friends, because you're managing the business account.
So you can't look for people online.
You can't, not like to invite them to the group. They have to be like a friend. So like, if John Smith was like my friend from high school or whatever, and then I, you know, just got this job at Midstate to manage the page, and the group was created, I could invite John Smith or whatever from high school because he's my friend and I'm part of this group now because I'm managing it. But
The business page.
yep, it's just got the followers and the likes. Yeah.
And you said that we want people to follow us, not just like us.
Correct. Yeah.
But follow us.
So how do you get people to find that?
Find the group. It's kind of like basically like a separate marketing campaign. So like for Midstate, what I would do is we have the group. Let me open up a new page here. Mhm.
You could give a hint on even. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not what's posted and just make it specific for each location.
absolutely. Mhm. And that's how you would have to do it. Mhm. Well, what's nice about a group is anyone that's involved in a group will get an actual message of the latest post into their little notification box here. So unlike a regular Facebook page where if I post something about the New York trip, the algorithm, you know, they have to be at the right place at the right time, and the algorithm has to put it to the top based on their likes and their interactions with the app in the past. If they're part of the group, no matter what I post in the group, it's a blessing and a curse, because if you post too much stuff on the group, then, you know, it, yes, exactly. So, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, exactly. That happens a lot. Yeah. So, I'll show you, how to access your groups here. Under Midstate Technical College, this drop down for more, if you hit groups, this is going to show all the different groups that you have under this page. Looks like they got rid of our group, one of our groups. We had a, we had, we had a, we had a single parent group, but it might have been removed without my knowledge. So let me see. So this group here, again, we almost have 700 followers here, but it started from 0. And what we did was we ran, during graduation, we had big signs to say, hey, join our Facebook group. We had a captive audience of people waiting for the ceremony to start. And we had a digital screen that said, join our Facebook group. blah, blah, blah. We did posts on our main page, here for people to join our Facebook group, just random posts here and there.
QR.
So a QR code, I could post a QR code here, and then if someone is in front of their screen and they wanted to scan the QR code, they could using their phone off the screen. But like if I'm using the app on my mobile device, there's no way for me to like scan the QR code while I'm in Facebook on my mobile device because I have to access the camera app.
I just went specific. That's it, kind of cute.
You could generate a free QR code. Let me show you guys how to do that too. No, that's okay.
QR codes in the future.
Yeah.
They use it more than just on Facebook, so. I mean, QR codes came out a while ago,
Hmm.
and they kind of like,
They kind of dormant.
yeah, and then now they're back. Because I'm just thinking about, I wasn't thinking about doing it on there.
Mhm.
I was thinking about generating the QR code to put on something you hand out to families.
Yeah, yeah.
For them to scan it to go right to the Facebook page.
Big time, yeah.
Is what I was thinking.
Totally. Yeah, there's a lot of free QR code generators out there. I wouldn't pay for any of them at all. From Facebook itself.
Yeah, can't you go up to them 3 dots? Up by that little person, just below the X.
Go up on the, right across on the bar.
There you
Yes. Oh, this is the browser.
I've never seen it. You would be teaching me something.
Yeah, this I've never seen either. Downloads.
Because I mean, like if you go to just another open page.
Uh-huh.
And now click on those 3, does it let you create a QR code?
Not that I'm let me see. I don't
I've
think
seen
so.
it before here, and maybe it was wherever I was, but I've seen it with them 3 dots.
Sometimes there are additional plugins they call
Mhm.
that you can add to your browser. What you could do is just go to QR code generator and free online QR code generator. You can just literally go here and type in a URL. Now what I would do is get a really complex one just to really test it out. Like this transfer. Oh, Amazon.
That specific thing.
Oh, maybe it is Amazon.
That site, like they added it to their abilities, you know what I mean?
It could be.
It might be.
It might be 365, because that's changing every day. too. I think it's the 3 dots again. See, it's making a liar out of me, and I'm not.
Oh no, you know, it was probably a website that you were at that allows that. I'm sure Amazon would do it.
Type in basketballs or something, I don't know, find something.
But this is
Yesterday.
let's see. So this is a really complex QR code. I'm just going to copy this. And then in the QR code so if you guys want this URL, let's see if this word paste. Now it just automatically just does it here. It actually can tell what web page you're doing it into. So what I can do is just click this QR code. I can change background color. It looks like you can do quite a few different things. Like you can style the QR code if you'd like. Yeah,
Pretty.
yeah, you can make this different. Let me see. I guess I have to keep it. Why can't I?
On the top, it says download.
Oh, there it is. Download. I need to see that. Thank you. So 2000. I guess I'll have to do it as a. Oh, yeah.
It's $5 a month.
Oh, this is a paid plan. There's free ones. There's free ones.
See, don't look too.
Well,
far.
that's.
Yeah, there are free ones. Yeah, it did say free, didn't it? Here we go.
Take her 10 years to find it, she will find it.
I go.
Yeah,
we're gonna be interrupted.
Yeah. I would be in an interview, so please wait till I'm done.
No, I'm interrupted. Yeah, look, look. Goes away.
So looks like. Okay, so this one, QR code-monkey.com. There we go. So yeah, so this is a free one. I just kind of put in the URL I wanted to visit. And then hit download and then just kind of wait. There's going to be this pop-up, this sign up pop-up. So if you just wait, it'll download here. Yeah, oh, this is going to be very plain. And so
I've seen that before.
yeah, this works on my phone. Yeah, it takes me right there. So so that's a free one. And then this will work across everything. Now, this looks like a good site. Let me just make sure I can do an email. Well, yeah, which creates this subject, download. It looks like that's going to work too. You could do a VCAR, phone, so phone number. Facebook page. Yeah, those are options there. So that's QR code. What do we do? Monkey.
I have the classroom survey.
So let's see, we got to, okay, so the student life group page. So yeah, QR codes is a great way to bring in a lot of people to these pages. This is going to be the this is going to be the way to get into the excuse me, the group, just by going into this more tab, hitting groups, and again, like I did earlier, selecting the group from the list, and then jumping into here. So as we manage the group, again, you can go ahead and look at the membership questions. Let's see here. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Moderation alerts. So here's where, as part of the group, people can post. Well, let's go to the group settings. So under group settings, what we have here is under manage discussion, you can set who can post anyone in the group. So anyone in the group can post to the group wall. However, this option here, now you can set it to only admins too, or as far as like who can post to the group. So what we have at Midstate is anyone in the group can post to the Facebook group. However, they require approval. Every post needs to be approved by an administrator. Or you can just set it to where it's kind of a free-for-all and anyone can post anything to the group, and that's okay too. We just chose to do it the other way because we didn't want any, kind of shenanigans going on. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see, under community roles, no, admins and moderators, here's where you can actually add admins to the group as well. So these are people who can approve or deny posts and things like that. They're all people that are internal in Midstate. You can get like a person to be like someone who is not an admin, but like a moderator, and they can like approve or deny posts or accept members or not. That's kind of a thing about groups, is like you can either set it to where like they request access and you allow them the access, or you can set it to where anyone can just join the group as they want. So for Midstay, we just had them request the access. And once the access is requested, on any, whether or not you're in the group page or not, or the main page, you will see up in the notifications that so-and-so requested access. And then so it's just like right away you will get a notification there that you can just click a button and then let the person get access to the page. But that's pretty much about it as far as like the groups. We created the student life group because we didn't want to flood our main Facebook page with all the student life activities. They have luncheons and fundraisers and things of that nature, and there's just so many things that they do that our page would just get flooded. We couldn't really put a lot of mid-state organizational type stuff out there. I talked about, let's see, tagging posts. So again, if you want to tag an organization, I'm sure you guys will have to be doing that. Just hit the @mention button, and then start typing in the name of the organization. Let me see if CAP Services comes up. Yeah. So I just started typing the name of your organization, CAP Services, and it kind of pre-filled, and then so I can click that. And then I can type in the rest of the message. As part of and you can do as many organizations as you want. And then so on and so forth. You can add the links to. And then of course images too. Again, tagging other organizations is going to actually get you exposed to their members. And then so those members might be, or followers, excuse me, and those followers might be able to then like the post, and then you can go ahead and do the invite thing that I was just doing to grow the following. Hashtags too. So hashtags, you want to keep them mostly general. Hashtags are for when a person goes onto Facebook and then wants to search for a hashtag, and usually it's like something like some kind of maybe let's see, what is it like? Maybe it's a holiday. Labor Day, Monday. So someone will search a hashtag and then they'll come up to posts that an organization has created a hashtag for in their post. And then so if it's general enough, hashtag, we used to do one for Cancer Immunotherapy Month. You're going to come up to all the organizations that are using this hashtag. And so as a user, you'll just want, if you're interested in something or other, you'll use the hashtag to kind of sort through the content that you might be interested in. So if if there was a hashtag that was appropriate to use for something like this, like hashtag early childhood development, you could add that into your post. And then let me do that. And then someone who's searching this in their hashtag could maybe stumble up onto the post as well. So it looks like Northwood Technical College. Now they're using this hashtag, so they're competing in the space for people that are searching for early childhood education. Midstay's not there. So it would be smart for Mid-State specifically to compete with Northwood and by using the hashtag. Now our presence isn't there. They kind of are owning this space now. Yeah, right. So yeah, that's part of what we have to do. Um,
That'd be great.
So that's the gist of hashtags. You know, a lot of people will flood their posts with hashtags and then some people won't. So I I I don't use very many hashtags, but I should probably start. It's just for me, it's a matter of time and bandwidth, you know, because I have like several other jobs to do and doing hashtag research, which sometimes it takes like someone to like put their nose to the grindstone, type in a bunch of hashtags to see if they can find competitors, what competitors might be using, create a list of hashtags to use. So we have like what, 60 programs. So you know, maybe hashtag early childhood would be something that might be worth doing. And so if I see that there are posts that have hashtag early childhood that are things that might be interesting to others that are interested, here we go. Looking for the next opportunity. Job spotlight. So yeah, Mid-State might want to piggyback off that by using the early childhood hashtag.
Yeah.
Snow peaks and ice, snow.
I think it's starting.
Yes, it is.
So I
Mhm.
believe we just actually used one of them for Head Start birthday last week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I some of them that they're recommended workshopping too.
yeah, so maybe if you have like a Word document or something and you have the hashtags, you could literally just do your Facebook post, copy and paste, and just use it, you know, as many times as you want. I don't think you can overuse hashtags if you put them, if you do a couple paragraph spaces and put them at the end of the post. Yeah, because you know, when people see the blue lettering of the hashtag at the end of the post, they're not really, this is maybe brings too much attention. What I would do if I were these folks is just do a space in between and just list them out just like that. They're gonna work just the same and they're not gonna be as like obtrusive, I guess. Good job.
That'd be a boost.
Right. Yeah, feel free to, I mean, yeah, all this stuff is, you know, public domain, so no one owns the early childhood education hashtag. Yeah. Um,
Unfollow.
People like us not avoid hiding. Tell us.
So is everyone good so far? We're done? Okay. All right. So let me get into boosting posts. Okay. So what a boost, let me find something that, so boosting a post and boosting an event, it's basically works the same way. Um I'm gonna boost the event because I think that it's more of like a thing that you want to market, let's just say. So we'll do the calzone class. So we want to get more people interested in this class. It's coming up. Yeah, 2 days. So what you can do, we've boosted this before, but what a boosted post is either like an organic Facebook post that's like shows up on the wall or an event. Um, Now there's two different things about it. One is a boosted post and one is an ad. Both you pay for. They're both basically ads, but the boosted post is a post that is originally exposed to people on your Facebook page. You post it on your page. The ad is something that's not posted on your page, but is just out there in the general public to the people that you marketed to. So the only difference between a boosted post and an ad is the boosted post shows up on your Facebook wall to all of your followers. if that makes sense. So if I did a post on, I think wolves are awesome and whatever on my Facebook page, it goes to all my followers, but I also can hit the boost button and then expose it to people outside of my following. Rather, an ad is only exposed to my outside following only. So since this event was created on our Facebook page and exposed or posted to our Facebook account, every time I create an event, all of my followers are going to say, see, Midstate created an event, and it's going to show the event on their feed. Since I did that, then I'm going to boost the post. Okay. So creating an event is just like creating a post. Creating a post is just like creating an event. It has the same effect, except the post has, the event has more interaction and like we talked about earlier. So right now I've gone to my event and then I've clicked on the boost post. So here I see the original content of the post. I could edit this content if I wanted to. I could change up the photos as well. But you see the preview of this boosted post, and it creates basically an ad out of the post. So it's going to add this button here that says get tickets and so on and so forth. I can see more previews of the post, what it's going to look like in these different applications across Instagram and Facebook. The boosted post is going to actually market on Instagram as well if I specify that that's okay for it to do. So, so that's kind of nice. It automatically does that for you. When you go under this area here, this is going to where you'll be able to choose your audience and choose the time and the budget and everything else. You'll be able to tie a credit card to this, and things of that. Okay, there's a glitch in here where if you change the number of day, like if you don't change the number of days before you go through the audience details, I'm not sure when they're going to fix this, but it's been a while. It will switch back the audience details. So this is in 2 days. So it's just gonna since the event is in 2 days, this is the event boost. Facebook is gonna know that it can't go past this certain number of days when the event is held. Now, I can establish the total budget, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Typically, so for Facebook, you have to at least spend $1 a day. So let's just say it's $2. As I change this over, it's going to readjust the estimated daily results here. They're estimating that I'll have between 3 and 17 clicks in the next 2 days with this budget of $2. And I'm going to reach about 255 to 736 people within this range based on the audience details that I have here, which are totally defaulted. You can see people who match the interests of Macy's and things like that. Realtor.com has nothing to do with what this event is about. So it's not like smart enough to see what this event is about and select my audience details based on that. I have to go in and do that myself. So let's just say I'll switch the budget up to like $5. And then you can see the numbers are going to change. A lot of the times when someone asks me, hey, can we do a boosted post on this? I'll ask, okay, how many days, until the time that this needs to be registered? When does registration close? 10 days. I'll say, okay, I'll estimate like $2 a day, $20. Here's what $20 will get you, and I'll go in and do all this work. I'll put $20 in and then tell them, okay, it's going to get you approximately this many link clicks and then this many people exposed, or I'll do another price. So usually I'll give them like the small, medium, and large budget, and then I'll be able to give them like an approximation of what Facebook says is going to be the result. Yeah. Could be, yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know why they can keep that secret either, you know, I don't know why that's allowed, but
It's interesting.
You reached, your minimum still didn't really change.
yeah, and even the clicks too is like, it's still super low.
So $3.
Yeah. Let me do like a 20. See, but yeah, I want to go to 20, yeah, you know, so I'm not sure how they come up with that, but yeah, this gives people kind of a good estimate, like, of what they're looking for. But this is like the real meat of the thing. Under audience details, you can specify whether, you know, what gender you want, these age ranges. Mid-state's interesting because, so for the calzone class, I'll probably go 27, 65 plus. This is a Wisconsin Rapids class. So under locations, you can just X that out. I'll do Wisconsin Rapids. You'll have to type this out. Oops. Now it's defaults to a 25-mile radius of Wisconsin Rapids. I could actually click this slider and go 30, or I could go a little tighter than that, even to 10. And under detail targeting, now again, these are all selected here. They have nothing to do with what, you know, the audience I want is. So I'm gonna have to X these out. And Facebook just adds these, and it kind of is a little bit of an annoying thing. What's that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet you. Oh, yeah. I never even thought of that. That's a good idea. That's a good thought. Yeah. 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 Realtor.com. I was like, that's so random. Yeah. So, interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. So, you can, so under detail targeting, you could hit browse. And then here are all of your different options. So demographics, interests, and behaviors. And there's a lot here. So a lot of the time what you'll want to do is just kind of use these drop downs. And I'll kind of talk about, you know, schools, for instance. I could target mid-state technical college people. So people at mid-state technical college. Um, let's see, I can go to, let me return. Yeah. Let's see, financial information. So income household, you can select, let's say the top 25, 50%, top 10 to 25. So I want to get a wider range here. You got to look at the area too that you are in, and the let's say the price of the event too, to help you there. I mean, gosh, you could go to people who have life events that are away from their hometown. So that's probably most people anyways. You don't want to get too many people, you know, into your targeted range. You kind of want to keep it as specific as you can. Um, anyone with an upcoming birthday, let's just say, you can, you know, target them. It's just the funniest thing sometimes. Newlyweds, you know, within 6 months or a year, I'd say within a year maybe, if they kind of want to get involved in doing some fun stuff together. Parents, you can target parents up to with children in certain age ranges. We typically do that at Midstate because you can't market to people that are less than 18 years old on Facebook. So what we try to do is for the events that are targeted for the younger children, we target the parents that are parents of the younger children. So for you all, probably this group here, um, parents, and then potentially teens, toddlers. So you have some options there. Yeah, it's almost, I bet I don't know about the 18 to 26, but you know, whatever, you can do all as well. Um, so all of these options here, type of work, industries, etc. So that's just like the one option there. Let's see, under demographics. And then if you go to interests, you can select business and industry. I know Midstate does a lot of this where we will target different, so like for certain business courses, we will target people that are interested in business, or things like that, engineering, stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, and that's part of it. I mean, like I understand this is kind of how they make their money is like, what's that saying? Like, if you don't pay for the product, you are the product. And this is kind of what it is. So, yeah. Well, and not only that too of Facebook, but now, I mean, I think legislation allows the social media platforms to talk to each other. So whatever you do on Google is talks to Facebook. Whatever you do on Twitter talks to Facebook. Yeah, right. I've gotten ads of things that I've talked about. Yeah. Because the permissions allow, whenever you check the box to say I agree, no one ever reads that. And so this is all part of it. Mhm. I have a Google Home at my place. So every time I say, okay, Google, yeah, it's always listening, so even if it's not, if I don't think it is, it is. So it knows what kind of music I like. It knows, how many dogs I have, what their names are, approximately everything. 'Cause I'm talking to them all the time. Yeah, it could. So yeah, and it's yeah, there's a spreadsheet out there for everybody with all of their interests, and there's automation, marketing going on, which is fun stuff to use if you're a marketing person. It's fun to do that stuff, but yeah, it's a little too much information. Um, so you can what kind of movies people like? Oh my gosh, life events, bars, if they're interested in that. So any kind of business, it's a great tool for marketing businesses, really. Um, um, so these are all the different options here, fitness, wellness. So these are all just basically hobbies, or interests, they call them here, interests. Um, if I go back to behaviors, that's another option here, where you can select um, purchasing behaviors, for sure. Consumer classification, um, different countries here, digital activities. Um, this is probably more deeper information. So, essentially when people ask me like to do an ad or something, I will pick the best of what I think is the best. I'll launch the ad, and if they don't get the results that they want and they're curious about what the demographics that I've targeted are, then I'll give them all the information because I can go back um, into my analytics to see like who was targeted for that ad. So um, let me show you guys. So I don't know how, so you said you have like different different sections of the organization and things, locations. So like if there's so like let's say like one location wants to spend money on social media, the other one doesn't, and the other one does, or whatever, you have multiple locations. What's that? They don't get a choice.
Location and adding those groups would be more for like specific center events, community events, really being able to kind of advertise those pieces to just those families versus having it go out on our ECD page and
Okay.
being relevant to somebody that lives in Stevens Point when the event is in Clintonville.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you have like multiple budgets for just one budget for it? Oh, okay, cool.
So just how much we would be comfortable spending.
Yeah, across the
for
board.
those targeted pieces.
Got you. Okay. Well, so when budget time comes, you just go to your Meta Business Suite. And then under all tools, if you go to billing, here you will be able to just basically download oh, these are ad credits. You'll be able to download the document here. And
Essentially.
yep, your bill. And so this is kind of what it'll look like. Now, what I have to do usually is go through and because we have like different departments that some of these different posts go to. So typically what I'll do is like highlight, each one based on where it goes to a different department. So this might go to marketing, this might go to yeah. Yeah, so if you need to make those distinctions like that, and I literally I kind of just do something um pencil to paper. I just do a highlight, this goes to this account, let's say this goes to the same account. And then at the end, this is going to have all kinds of different colors, green, red, yellow, based on the different accounts that I kind of pool them in. And then I'll just add up 1823, 786, blah, 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 account one, account two, account three. It does, and now these are just paid, so it's not like every organic post ever. But it does take some time, but you have this here that it makes it really easy and nice for you to kind of break out costs and everything. So again, that is just found under the billing, the billing section of your Meta Business Suite here, this flyout menu billing. So really, I showed you the boosted post. Ads are basically the same thing, except it's not going to originate on your wall. It's going to originate from nothing. So you're just going to build it from scratch. So under this all tools flyout again, you go under ads. Here we go. So ads, this advertising summary, it's going to give you how much you spent and so on and so forth. It's going to show you the reach, the engagements, the link clicks, and the event responses. So we've had a lot of event promotion using ads. So everything we spend money on can be tracked through here. You can see all the recent ads, engagement as far as audience. So age, gender, we can see more women between about this range here. I'm not sure what unknown means, but it's very little piece of the data, so that's good. Actually, it's 0. Placements. So it's going to show the different media that's used to view the content. So of course, mostly mobile uh, mobile devices here. Very little in interaction on desktop computers. So some of the things, like if anything you can think of that would be helpful on a mobile device, as far as like viewing your content, would be good. Yeah, I think for mobile, if you keep in mind like the top of the feed, um, whatever's what they used to call it back in the newspaper days, above the fold, right? So like, so above the fold is these first 3 lines. So the most So let's say I'm driving and I'm looking at my phone and I'm not supposed to be. Yeah. Like instead of me clicking see more, I'd want to see that big message right there. You know, within the first three lines, if you can make it concise to like the first three lines, then I mean, it's not like someone's not going to see more, but if you could get your message right away, right across in those first three lines, then that's good. Also, the reason for that is the attention span too. So like when you talk about like the best way to do the mobile and things like that is like if you're doing a video, don't make the video more than like, I mean, let's see, TikTok length, you know, unless it's something that is, you know, is more long form. It I would just keep it very short on the social media aspect and then do the longer version like on a web page or something like that. So, or on your YouTube channel, something that like that of that nature. If it's an ad,
Yeah.
Let's for Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, or you find the YouTube channel.
yeah. Well, there are cool things to do on YouTube, right? Like, but you can do those on Facebook too, like Facebook Live. Very simple to do. I could do a Facebook Live using my laptop here, or my cell phone. And it's just kind of a click of a button and it's going to stream on your page and then it'll save the video for future, you know, future views and things like that. So, you know, that's just a basic post actually. You can just do it um, right from, I'll show you in a second. Let's think here. What do I want to show? Oh, to create an ad. Basically the same process here. Um, you know, of course I can filter all this information. I wanted to go through the analytics another time. But that's kind of, you know, you guys could like play around with that too. Between now and next time we meet. But under create ad, if you click this, you can automate it. I've never really, usually typically what we need to do at Midstate is to get more website visitors. And so that's the thing I'll click. Now, unfortunately, this window for the ad doesn't like expand. So all it gives you is this little real estate space here and it grays everything out. So it's not very, you know, nice in that regard. But as you're creating more stuff and text here, at least this text box will be able to expand so you can see all of your text that you need. But essentially here is the description. You'll want to select your images. You can re-upload images here, or you can pick past used images. Now, when I select a past image for ads, it's very similar to a regular post where you can select multiple images and it's going to create like a carousel. So, so it can cycle through one image to the next. Typically for us though, is I'll just use one image from our ad campaign. So this is our new enrollment campaign. It's called Find Your Perfect Fit. So if I want to just use one image rather than multiples, I'll actually select the image I want and X out the image I don't. And then I'll just hit select. So again, our preview window is going to build, not very large. Now, very similar to the boosted post, you're going to see that pre determination of how many people are going to be reached. You're going to want the headline here. It doesn't give you very many characters to play with here. So you have to be very concise in your ad. Only 25 characters for this ad. So the button label. So you can have from all these different options, but essentially they all go to the same thing, which is the website. which is the whole purpose of it. We typically use the learn more. I would say apply now would be good too, for this. Just by the nature of what this campaign is. Actually, it's gonna be fall. So if we want to drive traffic to get applications, we'll just might as well say apply now. But if you don't know what to say, typically it's learn more. Learn more is the best option to do for something like that. Let's see, and then audience too. It just looks a little bit different, but it does the same thing. So you can establish the duration of your ad. Choose when it'll end, how many days, 7 to 15, let's just say. Daily budget, so it's gonna do, you can put however many dollars you want daily for that. Again, it's gotta be at least $1. It's gonna give you the estimate here, and then basically you can let's see, people in your local, these are all like for the preset options. I'll always just go over here and then go through that whole process of establishing the locations. So if you want multiple locations, you can do that. You don't have to just settle for the one. So if it's a campaign like not specific for us, like for that last class, it was only offered in Wisconsin Rapids. This, of course, you can apply at any location for school. So I will do all of our campus locations, and you can see on the map here that it kind of, the center of the bubble kind of goes multiplies, I guess, in the different locations, and they're all in that 25-mile radius. But I can still adjust those two, make them bigger or smaller as I click and drag the slider. And then we have, no, it doesn't. Yeah, so basically it'll just it'll just reduce the amount of spread, I guess, or disbursement across the different areas. But that's kind of, if your areas are really huge, then it's important to probably have more of a specific audience type. So if you have a really big area like that, and for Mid-State specifically, what I do is I do specific things. So people in high school. Now, earlier I was showing you like the browse features, but after a while you'll kind of know what is available as far as targeting. So then what you can do is start to just go into this box and then just type, and then and then those will show up automatically for you. So some college, so there's just a lot of these things that I just kind of do just because I've targeted these same types of people before. So parents, like we were talking about earlier, and then so on. Who else would I get in high school? Some college, high school. That's it. It's kind of pretty specific, and then so that creates this estimated audience size. So it tells you down here approximately how many people are in your audience too. And so it's not too specific, but it's kind of in the green, so that's good. And then you would just hit promote now, and then that's it. I think you can schedule it too. This is kind of new. So you can pre-schedule an ad. So if I wanted to start this not today, but next week, I could do that too. This comes in handy for someone like me who has a bunch of stuff that I have to do, and if I'm not in the office on a Friday and the campaign has to start, or maybe it starts on a Sunday or something, then you can do that too. It doesn't specify a time though, unfortunately. Oh yeah, it does. Yep, you can specify a time. Midnight on Sunday. Yeah, that would be crazy, but maybe there is a need for that. So that's basically ads. So ads and boosts are the same. Again, like the only difference is one gets exposed to everybody on your Facebook following, and then the other does not. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Facebook Live, so you can do live video, you can do a Facebook Live, right? From your laptop, because we all have cameras now on a laptop and you can stream like that. What I would recommend is the phone, but just make sure to plug in when you do a Facebook Live on your phone, and then have like a little, you can get these little prop things with the legs, and you can do a Facebook Live that way. I wouldn't like hold the phone, because as still as you think you are, it's not gonna be perfect. Yeah, it's not gonna be great. So I wouldn't do like, we have a bunch of camera equipment at Midstate and stuff, like professional camera stuff, that we create videos for Facebook on. But if it's a Facebook Live, we don't do that, because you have to, first of all, you have to get like third-party software to stream, and a lot of it is hard to use and fails. And people, when even professional newscasters, that sometimes like news reporters that I follow on YouTube, when they go live, they're just like, they don't even have a prop. They'll just hold it in front of their face, and they get hundreds of thousands of views and stuff. And so it's very common to have it that way when you're doing like a live. And if it's static and set up on a table, it's perfectly fine. And so that's what I would recommend. That's what we did the other day, and it went just fine. Um, um, as well. I can't demonstrate that for you right now, because I'm on the Midstate account. So it's gonna stream like to, thousands of people. But what I would do is create a test account that has no followers, for yourselves. Just make one up, make up an email address, and just tinker around with it. Have some, coworkers go to the live link, do some commenting, because they can do comments, and you can send these little like bubbles out there on your Facebook Live, and test it out and see like how you, as the person that's casting the live, are seeing the comments come in. Yeah, probably, yeah.
Fills up the screen.
Yeah. And so what's, yeah. So like, if you are doing it and you're expecting a lot of questions from people, if your following is really huge, and um like have someone kind of fielding the questions, very much like a Zoom meeting, things like that. So just have someone there to field the questions, and moderate the comment area and stuff while you're doing your presentation and things like that. Yeah, you'll see all the emojis and floating up and things like that. So let's see. We've done one thing I wanted to, wait, is that still an option? Okay, looks like we can't do polls anymore. No polls, so yeah, I guess you can't do that. So weird. That's it. I didn't think that they got rid of that. Well, there was one marketing campaign we did where we used Facebook polls, and it was really fun, actually. We were having people vote on the name of our new mascot. And so yeah, it was pretty cool. Huh? Yeah, like a personal one. Yeah, these little rules, right, that they come up with. Yeah, that's kind of rough. So yeah, a lot of unexpected changes sometimes that happens, but the good thing is it happens for everybody. So, well, professional, no, that's not going to be it. Okay. Well, managing comments, we did that. Followers, recommendations, invites, we've done that. So, one thing I did want to show you. Has anyone used ChatGPT before? So let me see if I can find an email. a lot of times, so if I open up our social media platform to everyone in the organization, which I did at Midstate, I was like, if you have something like pictures you want to share, just send me a brief message in an email and I'll just repost it for you. It doesn't have to be professional. So to get more content out there and people interested. So we've gotten a lot, you know, we get a lot of people giving us stuff here like this. So this is one of our enrollment people. She gave me a bunch of photos here. Let me see if I can download them. Just of students participating in what is a last Friday, students from Adams Friendship High School participated in the Spring Adams Program Showcase event. Okay, so she gave me some content here, but not everyone gives me that. So what I can do is copy this. And then ChatGPT is basically a language modeler. It's an AI. And I don't know if you've heard of it, but you can get to it by chat.openai.com. And so it's pretty new, but what you can do is say, please write a social media post for the Midstate Technical College Facebook page that uses the following information. And then I'll do colon, and then I'll paste what she says. And then I'll hit enter. And then it's going to write up like a basic framework of a social media post. Yep. Now this is kind of long. You can stop generating. Now I'll say, please make that. Now see, this is like an ongoing conversation, so it's going to remember what I asked before. So please make that social media post about 50 words. And then it's going to do that. And then see, it has a hashtag too. So please use the previous text, but then add like 5 more hashtags. And then so now like you can't just use this verbatim, because sometimes it might not make a whole lot of sense, but it could cut down your time of doing this very quickly. So so this is chat.openai.com. So yeah, the reason why, so you know, year after year, just the amount of responsibilities and stuff that you have to do, like being a social media person, but then doing this video and then doing that, and then they just pile more and more on. So this is an option to where it's like, well, I could sort of, instead of writing content using my creative brain for writing original content, I can just edit content, and then use some of my space for the other things I have to do. Yeah, yeah. If it's the end of the day, you get random requests too. She's not the only one that sends me stuff. I get stuff from these folks here. So yeah, so here's another thing. Thank you for taking the time to get to blah, blah, blah. I'm attaching a flyer copy of capstone presentation from Andrew, content to reuse for capstone posts. So she attaches this flyer that says, we have these capstone presentations that we have pictures of that we want to promote. And then so I'm just going to copy that and and then say, create a social media post that is about 75 words or less, and that, um, talks about how great this event was and to encourage our followers to view the pictures we took from it. And then so while this is doing its thing, I can go and jump on something else, and then when I'm ready to go back and edit it, I can go back and do that. You could, yeah, you could say, use previous text, but remove all the emojis. See if it actually does it. Yeah.
Sometimes I think too many.
So, and of course, I'd have to like proofread this. I'd have to do the at mention of the youth community county youth soccer scheduler, or that organization that they did the work from. So I would tag them, but so this is how I would field like random social media post requests from people. Now, if it's like an ad that I'm going to do for like building registration or things like that, that Find Your Fit, or campaign that we're doing with Midstate and stuff, that's all stuff that requires the creativity and things like that. But if it's like, hey, come up with a social media post for this, that, and the other thing, you can just copy and paste that in here, and then make any kind of edits. Maybe for this post, I would say, I would take this, I would go and create like a call to action out of it. So that's something that the software is probably not going to do, but I would just paste this in here. I would knock this down. Check out our captivating pictures from the event and be inspired. While you're at it, if you're interested in a career in IT, visit mstc.edu/IT and register. So to kind of double up on that, informational post from somebody, I'll try and come up with a call to action to build up registrations and things like that, and slip it in there. Use it as a marketing opportunity anytime I can. Like, I'm always thinking about how to make something a marketing opportunity. So that's something that, that software can't do, but it can put together words that make sense, that, solve, that problem of just the overwhelming, amount of requests to post on the social media page. And what's nice is you can schedule this, so you don't have to post them all as you get them. You don't have to have like 5 posts a day. You can, schedule this post to be 7 o'clock in the evening, another one, the next day at 5 in the afternoon, or things like that. So I found it good to just open the floodgates. And ChatGPT didn't come in till earlier this year. But before that, yes, I was writing stuff out. It wasn't very complicated, but it was time consuming and energy consuming. But now it's not as bad. So and it builds up a lot of followers too. I think we've gotten like, I think we get about 1,000 followers each year right now. So yeah, we're pretty good so far. So and you'll be surprised how many likes a post like that would get. The photos are not the most professional at all. They're just based off of someone's cell phone. So, but you'd be surprised how many likes those types of things get. I mean, this one here is just a cell phone photo, and we've got 19 just in that. A lot of interactions, and things like that. So, let's see what else we got. Okay. I don't have. I don't have a way to show like how to manage things on my phone. I have to figure out a way to like plug my phone into the computer and like do a screen share. I'm not sure how to do that just yet. I don't know if I can, yeah, I'm not sure. So I don't have that piece today. Uh, uh, do you, what I was wanting to do with you guys, maybe for the last like however long we have, which is we have till noon, is to come up with like a brainstorming session of what kind of organic content posts your organization could do that's very similar to what Trina and Mo was sharing with me as far as like the event that she was at with the students participating in activities and things like that. That I used ChatGPT to create that copy, and then I could have just posted like that. So are there any kinds of and no idea like should be discounted at this point. It's just all ideas are out on the table. And what I'd like to do is record all of the ideas on this document and then just have them in our back pocket. So for when the marketing plan gets developed and we have those set goals of like building registration for this goal, that goal, that goal throughout the span of 3 months' time, we can have a strategy of different pieces of content to fill in the gaps and to build interest and build the following while the promotions are going.
You're not talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
Teachers have events, to me, that would kind of be gap.
Well, and yet I think they would tie to with recruitment, so, if we go along the line and create those groups for the sites. And they have their spaghetti dinner and they, do a posting after that, it's gonna create more engagement, hopefully, make sure, or save the date for our next, that would generate that whole line of things.
Yes.
Yet, if they would share it with a friend, it might get back to enrollment. They see like,
You can add it in your child.
yeah,
Or
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
for us.
So I'll just put like all of the ideas should have a call to action applied. So everything that you do as far as an organic post that might be interesting or cool to like build up a following and an audience, somehow some kind of a tie-in to those goals being like the registrations and things of that nature. If you can work that in any sort of way, like for instance, the capstone project for the IT students, me working in if you're interested in a career in IT, learn more here. For Mo's event where she had the kids doing activities. Um, uh, I don't think I put that on there, but I could put summer classes are now available, register here. And we're always like taking registration, so that's like my fallback is register today. But I mean, maybe there's something that you all are always doing as well. Um, yep. Yeah, so okay. So sample
but, outside of, and I agree that's our immediate need kind of. But, just like what they did last year was the Head Start birthday,
mhm.
and so we could create a certain thing with them like that, that more like it's educating people about Head Start, the program, the services, or whatever.
Well, that's what we used to have. We used to have a monthly post. You were supposed to, in your content area, create the post or send Michelle the information to create the post. And then each month was specific about XYZ, so it would connect to teacher appreciation, yeah, and it would connect to.
It's like you have to turn your calendars forward 6 months and working with backwards.
That's kind of the idea for sure, for the marketing plan for
But
sure.
there's really two different plans. There's center
Mm-hmm.
group plans and there's your full ECD plan. Because there's really are two different things. Because what we're posting on those center groups, if we go that route, that's really specific and intentional for each location. Where our ECD is more generalized for early childhood programming, hiring, enrolling in general. It's not specific to your location. Right.
Your center groups, have like different activities
Yeah.
and things too.
They're required to have family events throughout the year. So somebody may have it in October, somebody may have it in January, somebody may have it, but they're 4 to 6 a year that they're required to have. So those are scheduled with your parent committees, which is another one, parent committee meetings, policy council. Just some of those major events, I think. But then it's also events happening at your center, like,
mhm.
you know, we're looking to have Senator Teston come and visit the childcare center here in Point. So that would be a major event that you'd want to make sure you're capturing and putting on your Facebook.
Is that an event that like requires registration, or is that like a big happening that you want to
That I
report?
want to make sure we're, you know, sharing that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that would be something that goes on the ECD page. But just things that, I think there's gonna be a lot of things that come up for us that are not gonna be strategically planned.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be by center
Yeah,
or
specific
spur of
to
the
the-
moment for ECD.
Yeah. So like, what kind of spur of the, well, so the
Senator Teston.
testing, yeah,
Because he emailed, they finalized it last week and he's coming this Friday.
yeah,
So that's not really something that you could necessarily.
right,
I mean,
plan for, right, yeah, and that's, yeah, and that happens a lot, so that's a good thing, that, are you guys, I would, I would maybe recommend like to do just the one Facebook page and then not have like the multiple center groups, just for the amount of content that, you know, each group might have. So if you split it up too much and it's too small, then it's not going to get any traction. But if you have enough content to like say post 2 things a day, that's good for one page. But if you start having like one of the centers become more overwhelming than the others, that it's harder to manage on the one page, then it'd be good to create like a separate group or something like out of it. Because Midstate, we have the 4 campuses. And so all of our campuses and all of our posts for each of the campuses, we host under the one page. The only reason why we have the separate group was for student life.
Go to all the different locations, they cannot with our.
Hmm.
So if they're enrolled in Stevens Point, they're not attending a family event in Clintonville.
But then you could still potentially create it as just an event and just have location lines and just promote it as Watoma or.
But then I go back to too much content and too much time too. Because we cannot, they're going to plan these as their leisure. So if you have 3 on the same day. Or 4 of them in the same month. I don't know, it's just.
You would have like 4 event posts, but you could always hide those from your timeline wall, and they'll be like living in your events area on your page.
I just worry that if we don't separate it somewhat, you're gonna lose interest in people going to the page. Because they're going to see so much content that has nothing to do with their site and location.
Well, what's gonna happen too is like, keep in mind that there's like the algorithm as well. So if they're liking stuff that has a certain like spin on the content, then they're gonna see more of that. But if they're not, they're gonna just see less. I would personally recommend just to do everything in one, and then if a problem, if there becomes a problem, then solve it like when it comes. Like if you try and pre-solve the problem before there is a problem, then you could be losing on a big opportunity to like grow you know, on the page and things like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would just consider that. Again, Midstate, we have all 4 of those campuses, and we host everything under that one side. It's just the student life part. It became a problem. we never had that in the beginning, but as time went on, the student life posts became like a problem where I couldn't manage it anymore. And I was like, well, if you guys want to do this, we have to have someone managing it, and then we'll break out a separate, we'll break out into a group that you guys can manage because I can't do it anymore, type of a thing. And then that's how that kind of became. Now, that single parent group that they created, that I created for them a few weeks ago, that's gone now because they didn't need that. They didn't need, you know what I mean? So now if there became a need for it, then yes, you know. Another thing too is like when I started at Midstate, there was a Fire and EMS Facebook page that was separate from the Midstate Facebook page. But Fire and EMS were saying to us, well, you know, our page isn't growing. We want to grow it. Well, you guys went off on your own and created your own page. It's your responsibility to grow it. If you want to be part of us, then close that page down and then bring it over. So it was another example of where they thought there was a need for like a separate page, but then, you know, at the end of the day, it was not. And then so the bad part about that is that all of the followers that they have on that page, if the page closes down, they could be lost forever have they, if they don't know to come to the Midstate main page to get all the content that they were getting from there. So I don't know. It's just a thought, like just keep that in mind. Like typically I try to like just solve those problems as they come, you know. 'Cause I was gonna say because you don't know like if you're gonna need that or not. It could just be an extra work, you know.
Well, I guess my question, Sam, just trying to kind of figure out and piece together, if we're looking at like the spaghetti dinner, which is a family event. That's open to our families and our families only. It's not open to the public.
Which is why it would go to your Clintonville location page, not the public page. That's the issue. You're posting things on a public page to whomever likes it and follows it for events that are specific to a location.
But you also have to think from the Facebook standpoint, maybe that's not the greatest, you can put the end effect on it of this is what we did, this is what we're doing, but putting the physical event on, you're gonna have people from Watoma that may be the teachers, it may be past parents, it may
Could be
be
grandparents.
could be grandparents exactly that are liking the page. So is that stuff better kept for the events with blooms or a different
Not
format?
everybody's on Blooms, that's the issue. You're gonna target
flyers
or much more people on Facebook than you are.
But you can't single it out and say, I want this class list to be invited. It won't work.
I think the difference is people you have enrolling in those areas know that it's for current families. Your ECD page may not.
I'm not sure. Cause I mean, I'm not super educated in Facebook, but if I saw an event like that, I'd be like, oh, well, I'll go support that.
Right. Or you could see, I guess, the other aspect of it is anyone can like our page. They can follow our page, like our page, follow our page. You don't know who you're sending that information to.
Your groups are not like your Facebook page. Your groups are controlled more. And that's exactly what we talked about was it's those groups you have more control over who's in that group. Your postings, what you do, where your page you do not, that's where you open your settings.
So you would, and I'm sorry, I'm not an expert in this at all, but when you would post this spaghetti dinner and you would target your specific groups to that Clintonville group? Is that what is that?
That's what we'd have to decide
Okay,
how to do that.
okay,
if you
that
can.
makes sense.
Because I'm just not sure you can target it to a specific group. You can target it to demographics, you can target it to maybe location, but you're not targeting it to your Clintonville group.
But those groups are not ever gonna grow then. That's the other problem is you're looking at trying to grow everything from trying to get more people involved.
That would not be my intention of the group. The groups are specific to location intentionally to share that information. Your Facebook page, totally. You can grow your Facebook page, your ECD specific.
So like, yeah, maybe it's something like that where everything goes on the main page, but then it gets double posted into the group. I mean, so let's just say, for instance, you have location ABC. ABC events get posted on the main page, but then ABC groups have reposts of the events in A group, B group, C group separate.
Looking for that Clintonville Head Start page to build a following. I'm looking for that Clintonville Head Start page to have families in it that are enrolled, to be able to receive that information.
Mhm.
Because right now, not everybody enrolls in Blooms, not everybody has it active on their phone. So you can post all you want, but when we're looking to go to a digital age, I feel like you need to pick the best platform that people are enrolled in. And it's Facebook.
Mhm.
Have we, I mean, and again, loaded question just to kind of get the best bang for our buck, have we pulled or talked to the families to say, hey, are you on Facebook? Would you, if we had a group, would you be interested in joining it? I mean, just to see, because if we're gonna put all the legwork behind and no one's gonna join, or it's gonna be the same group that joins in Blooms. It's essentially potentially a waste.
Yeah, I would go away from Blooms.
So yeah, maybe
Well,
you, so what you could do is like create the group, right? Double post on the main page and the group page, the specific stuff to the group page, but then the main page, and then maybe that's something that we put work in as filler between like our big goals on Facebook for the marketing plan is to see if we can get people from the main page into the group by
I
promotion.
just think our intention. Because my intention is not to grow that group to be large and extreme in the community.
Yeah.
The intention is to be specific with that location.
Right.
So current families, the staff, to be able to share information.
And then so those folks that would be in the group are probably mostly currently followers of the main page currently.
I-
Okay, so
I don't think our ECD Facebook page right now is really highlighted. That's my opinion. It's really not.
Mm.
But I feel like if you're gonna make it an intentional platform, then you should be doing what you can to market it, to share it with families and to
yeah,
use its intention. Asking somebody to go to multiple platforms to receive information seems silly to me if they're already enrolled in Facebook and have access to ECD and their site and the regular Facebook and whatever else.
right. And so, and that's the thing is like, what information is someone gonna get from the group that they can't get from the main site? And it's like, is that asking them to get multiple sources of information from multiple places too?
I don't like sharing specific events and locations with everyone.
my thought is you
Mhm.
take on the main ACD page, it's almost a post event posting saying
We did this, you know. we-
Clintonville did whatever.
Yeah.
It had this. It's gonna create a buzz.
Yeah,
And I
Uh-huh.
think that, and, so that's that.
Mhm.
That's what I do.
And I agree with that.
And then the groups, if you really wanted it to be used as a promotion of events and that kind of stuff, you can do that. My other question is, do we need to do that? Do we, how are our family events attendance, and that kind of thing.
Or see if there's.
And we're not gonna do socials, because those are, that would be too hard to track. And the other piece is the time.
Mhm.
How are you gonna get that information? Who's gonna do that posting at the site or in the group?
Mhm.
And keep up on it, and I get, and start, if Sutter Base is easier, because there's only the four family events. I mean, there's other things that you could, put in there. Like Policy Council is another good one that would go on the ECD
Right.
main page. Like, not necessarily free, but more like Policy Council did this or did that or whatever. That's how you kind of create some buzz. Now, being back to, trying to reach new families, so, like if I'm one that's following our page, and I have a child that's participating, I mean. I'm just saying, like, and I follow with my neighbor, my friend, you know, like, hey, you know, my child did this or that, is that going to, you know?
Hmm. So, what would be like an example?
Well, you know, like, you know, like if we're gonna try and roll it back to recruitment of families, you know, will that? You know, because I'm a follower right now because I'm a parent enrolled
Hmm.
and I share it with my neighbor. I don't know, I mean, you know, or whatever, I'm not sure about getting out. How does it spread? How do they like it?
You would post that on your ECE page.
Yeah.
And
Somebody has
that's,
to like it.
right, and you have, but they can share it too.
Yep.
And that's how it
yeah,
spreads.
Go both ways, yeah. And even if you just liked it too, it could potentially spread as well. Between the combination of you liking something and having it get exposed to your followers, and then them re-liking, let's just say, and then the page inviting them to join. Whether it be the page actually adding a tag to a fellow organization to have that exposure to those folks as well. The unlikely event of a hashtag working to get people, or the reshare of a person, you resharing with your followers. Difference between you resharing a piece of content to your page from the ECE page, or you liking that is based on the algorithm, your reshare is like a share of your own to your friends. So it's going to go higher up in the food chain, I guess, of the feed. So either way, it would have exposure to people. It's just one might be more intense than the other, you know, like versus a share being more intense, you know, to the feed of your other followers and things. I don't know. I think all these ideas are good. I think every idea should be, you know, considered and tried, you know.
I just
Um,
think
mm,
it's difficult in any respect. On Facebook or whether that's in multiple platforms.
mm,
You know, because right now we ask them to go to TSG, we ask them to go to Blooms, we have them on Facebook, like, it's just so many locations that I feel like that's where information gets lost.
Yeah.
Because you're asking them to check all these different places all the time. Where if you can simplify it and put it in one location that
Yeah.
is being utilized, it seems silly to not take advantage of that.
Oh yeah, you should. Yeah. I mean, definitely I think like everyone basically has Facebook. So um I mean, it's just a place to put your
You
stuff.
know, if we have them signed already to utilize our technology, whether that's TSG or Blooms, could write into that clause that when your child was no longer enrolled, you would be removed from that Facebook group. I mean, you'd be able to have that option on there if you wanted to.
Who's gonna, who's gonna?
Yeah, I already intend that the day-to-day operation pieces, we would look at somebody on site.
Cause that could get.
It's no different than what they're doing now.
I'm just throwing it out there, the July 1st, September 1st, you have a lot of turnover.
But they do it now with their families on Blooms.
Okay,
They already take them off when they're no longer in a classroom or have transferred classrooms. So that's why I'm saying we're already doing all that work. We should just move it to one platform.
okay.
Yeah, I think yeah, I mean, yeah, I think moving it to one platform would be
And Facebook has
Smart.
Facebook has so many more options and it's free. It's part of those groups where right now Blooms it's a cost if we want to upgrade to some of the systems. And the issue we're running into on Blooms is the amount of content that are on some of those pages is so much that they're having difficulty with trying to actually post things. So
No, I think it's a great idea. I'm just not educated enough in Facebook by any means.
and maybe that's something we can meet about
Yeah,
and
that's
right
right.
now chat about it,
Yeah.
but
The other thing, if you, for center base, if you take away Blooms, it's the attendance. I see a lot of, because I haven't been out the sites
Oh,
recently,
contact.
But-
Perhaps.
but if they're, like when I have a couple of years ago, if they weren't, the child wasn't there. There was a Blooms message that was going to the parent is,
Why can't we set FSS's up on Facebook to be moderators
Well, I think you
on
would
their
do it.
page?
My thought is you. Was.
Yeah, and your could be, I just feel like there's other options. It's not the
I'm
only
just saying,
option.
yeah, it should go through Child Plus because
Sure,
Child Plus has 10.
and that's what we're
That's
trying.
fine. Yeah, it has it. We just have to.
Oh, just enabling that.
We tried it a while ago and it
I
wasn't.
think it was, I'm thinking about how the
Yeah.
ones that I know is being used.
Mhm.
And that's the one piece that I wouldn't go through Facebook with attendance.
Yeah,
Because, no.
Well, there could be some confidentiality things that.
yeah, yeah.
So, but we can enable Child Plus.
Well, the messaging piece is no different than what it is on Blooms.
On Facebook?
You still have chat function. So it's still private. It's just like what they're doing on Blooms technically.
But that everybody would have to have chat, like the messenger.
Well, the one
We
thing,
could talk that.
yeah, just to keep, yeah, and we're a little over on time, but just to keep in mind that the messages on Facebook can only be incoming rather than outgoing to people, to your followers, as the Mid-State Facebook, or I'm sorry, as the business Facebook page,
But
So-
not in groups.
not in groups. And groups, now groups, the message would be public to everyone in the group. So yes, just in the group itself,
Right,
Mhm.
but there's still, I believe, function in groups.
maybe.
That's a challenge, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
So that we didn't have, when we first started Child Plus, we didn't have email addresses. And you have to maintain cell phone numbers.
Yeah.
Right, if you text. Right, so we can move that way.
Easy to do.
But-
I mean, not easy, but.
Now we have both parents' cell phone numbers going in.
Yep.
We
Yeah,
said
I
that's
mean,
very-
and we're more knowledgeable of the software. So that's helpful as well.
And then it would be tracked. It would-
Yeah,
We probably need to do this. Yeah.
That's cool. It was fun.
You can see all the light bulbs going on.
Yeah, if you all have any like ideas for organic stuff, just, put together, like send it to me via email. I'll keep this document going and peruse it. Because we had some really good ideas, I think, so far. But there's probably a lot more, yeah. We just didn't have enough. There was other stuff that came up, so.
Specific. We could update. So let's start of the school year and do clear it in. We should know. But this is separate. You're looking for things that were more.
Yeah, just kind of, anything organic ideas, any ideas. Uh-huh. But yeah, those like specific registration things that you were talking about, we got to have those nailed down for the marketing plan. So then we can fill the gaps with all these other more fun ideas, if you will, those out of the box things. And then you really could have something just, a pretty well-oiled machine, really. After you go through it for a year, you will
Right.
be able to pull the last one and say, okay, we can do this again, or we can add a couple of things to it and things like that. And as you're doing the organic stuff and the fun stuff, and you're going to learn other things, you're going to be like, oh, let's just post this, see what happens, and it might be great. And so, yeah, just be open-minded, I would say, to all of those things. Of course, there are like those privacy issues that you want to keep in mind and stuff like that, but as open-minded as you can be is the best way to go for it. So, oh my gosh, I'm still recording.
So as far as the timeline, when is the next?